Hi everyone, it's Michael Fern here, and we've got another LSP Method podcast. And today we have a guest. I'm very excited. We've got Mauricio Gomez, all the way from Colombia, who I'm excited to sort of dive into his experience with Lego Series Play, his background, and I've even got him to do a few builds. So, Mauricio, welcome.
So thank you, Michael. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you.
Yeah.
So let's
Excited,
go.
excited to get into the conversation. So, rather than me do your background, you know you. So, I'll just hand over to you and tell us about who you are and maybe what you use Lego Series Play for. Just a bit of your origin story. And I did get you to do a build as well, so maybe bring that in at some point. But I'll hand over to you. Tell us a little bit about who you are and LSP.
Thank you, Michael. I know you told me to build a tower in order to tell who am I and my background. I
Yeah,
couldn't do it in a tower, so I have to build a complete modle.
yeah, I love it. Don't worry. People always do that. They always just ignore the
Yeah, I
tower, which is
know.
totally fine. Oh,
Okay,
excited.
so
Hang on. Let me get you on the big screen and just to make sure. There we go.
well, Michael, this is Mauricio's life in just in a couple Lego pieces. So I will start from the beginning. There's a lot of things to tell about me. Um, there's a background about me, this black background. Not because my past in life is black, but it's because I did a lot of things in my past life. Um, I used to study or to begin to study like 4 or 5 different professional careers. The first one I was studying to be a vet. Then I moved to marketing. Then I graduated as a pilot, commercial pilot.
Mm.
And then at the end, I study business administration and I have a specialization in marketing. I work for like 16 years for a overseas company. That company, it's the company that helped me to understand many things in life. Can I name the company or is forbidden publicity? Well, that company name is
Oh,
about Amway.
oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I worked for Amway for 16 years.
Mm.
Are you listening to me okay? Because
Yeah, yeah. You just paused for a minute there, but I got you now, and I can
so
see you.
that I worked for that company like for 16 years. I'm sorry. And I was the commercial vice president of that company. I was running to be the CEO of that company. And one day, after 16 years, they called me to human resources. So I was very happy, because they were going to say, you are going to be next CEO of the company.
Mhm.
Uh, but they told me, you are going to work with us for the next 15 days, and then you have to leave the company.
Oh wow, wow. That's a bit different.
Yeah. So it was because the company was in an transformation, digital transformation. So they have to save a lot of money, and
Mm,
they cut my position all around the world.
mm.
So in that moment, I say, okay, now what I'm gonna do? 16 years with that's my
Yeah,
job territory. Sorry.
yeah. That's all right.
Uh, so I say, okay, now what I'm going to do? I have to do something. So I start to think what I like to do. I like to talk with people. I like to teach. I like to talk about leadership, about communication, about soft skills, to
Mm.
teach people. And I try to find my ikigai. Are you familiar as with the
Yeah,
ikigai?
yeah. I love that. Yeah.
So I start to think about that, and my wife, she told me, honey, there's a new methodology. Well, at that time was not that new, but she told me there's a new methodology. It's level serious play. Why don't you think about it? You like to be with people, you like to teach, you like to be creative. And I say, okay. So I start to investigate about Lego serious play, and I found my mentor. My mentor is Lucio Margulis
Oh, yeah.
from Argentina. I got certified with him 5 years ago.
Mhm.
So that's what I say that I have a lot of background.
Yeah.
Now, talking about me, Michael, this is my family. Here I am. This is me. Why with the cap backwards? Because even my age, I am 55 years old. I feel very young, you
Yeah.
know. I'm the guy who always is wearing jeans,
Mm.
tennis shoes, a cap, you know.
Mm.
This is my son. He's 19 years old. He is studying for engineer. My wife, who is already 20 years uh, working side by side with me, and my daughter, who lives outside of the country. She lives in Canada
Mm.
5 years ago. And why this portion of the construction is it's higher than the rest of the one? It's because my family is the most important thing for me. You know, everything I do it for my family. I do it for my sons. I do it for my wife. Also for the dog who is here. It's a Yorkshire Terrier. And they are my life, you know, they're my lighthouse. They always guide my decisions. They always guide everything I do it for them. Then I start to walk down. My hobbies, I really love to play tennis. I'm a tennis player. I love tennis. I see all the tournaments, all the Grand Slams, everything
Oh,
that is about tennis. I'm the first one to turn on the TV to see the matches.
yeah.
And then what I do right now, Michael, is since I got certified, I start to work with a lot of people. I start to work with CEOs. I start to work with engineers. I start to work with students. I start to work with individual persons doing coaching. And this is because I am most addressed to work with technology companies.
Mm.
Right now, I'm working with a technology company. We are partners. So this is my area of expertise is IT companies.
Yeah.
So that is my a little brief of my life.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. I love this element of, and you can ask someone their background, but to sort of bring color and life to it through the Lego model. I love. I like just reflecting on your model. I loved the lighthouse metaphor that you used around your family. And as you know, with
Mhm.
metaphor, it's like it's a big part of Lego serious play, and it's a big part of how we think. And so, whenever I look at a model like that, I'm always looking for those metaphors around things like lighthouses and guiding you and that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned about that last bit of the model that you sort of work with lots of different organizations, lots of different people within those organizations, from CEO to engineers. One thing that I found in my journey with Lego Serious Play is it's like finding the level that you as a facilitator like to work at. So, as you know, the methods it started off as a sort of C-suite method where it was strategy and it was all the CEO and the CFO, all the way down to, students that you mentioned as well. And it's like I've found a level that I'm sort of happy with my facilitation. Where do you sort of fit in? Like I know you work with all those, but where does the heart call? Like in terms of what level? Who do you like to work with the most in terms of the levels in an organization?
That is an interesting question because you know every level has something to tell. Every
Mm,
level has something to teach. But I really love to work with the base, you know, with the people in the base, with the operating people.
yeah.
Why? Because I learn a lot from them, you know.
Mm,
They are
mm,
not afraid of telling things. They are not afraid of looking good. They
yeah.
are not afraid of keep an image.
Mm,
So they are very transparent, you know,
yeah.
and I love with them because they are very creative.
Yeah.
They sometimes they say things like, "What? Are you sure? Are you serious about that?" Yes, and we love to work with the base, you know, because they
Yeah.
are very open of knowledge. They are
Mm,
very open to hear what you are saying, and I'm trying to be that kind of invisible facilitator. I'm not that kind of facilitators who are always telling the people what to say or to drive their answers.
mm,
And I really learn a lot from the base. That's
yeah.
my favorite part of the company to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you said it really well. And I think one thing I'm similar. I really like to work with that sort of base and middle part of an organization. You know, it's teams and those sort of leaders within the middle of the organization. And it's funny, I keep myself open to, like you do, all levels. Like if there's a C-suite team that want to do it, you never sort of presuppose or assume, certain mindsets. But and so I'm always open to whoever wants to work with Lego Serious Play. But I do really enjoy that middle part to the base of an organization. I think it's for the same reasons you said. They're very open, it's almost like a growth mindset. They're just willing to be in that messiness and try stuff and see what comes out of it. I just
Yeah,
want to pick up on one thing you mentioned as well, you being the invisible facilitator.
yeah,
So I'd love to hear your thoughts on, facilitation, the Lego Serious Play method. Like one of the things I say about Lego Serious Play is like there's structure to it, but there's also space in it to be sort of creative. And so talk more about this invisible facilitator. Like, I mean, how did you come to that? Like, you had a very varied career in lots of different fields, from being a pilot to, to sort of corporate world. So I guess how
yeah.
did you learn this idea of invisible facilitator? And yeah, I'd love to know more about that.
Well, I think uh, I used to work a lot with some facilitators here in Colombia,
Mm,
and I think it becomes from the experience, you know. Sometimes I see some facilitators that they are trying to guide the answers in order to obtain the insights they want to obtain.
mm,
Uh, and I was like, maybe, or even the way they ask, because when you ask something, you cannot drive the answer. And sometimes facilitators are trying to be the stars of the workshop.
yeah,
And I think the stars are the people, you know, the
yeah,
people you
yeah,
are facilitating to. So I don't really like the way some facilitators do in order to like I say to be the stars. So I try to be behind the scenes. I just try to launch a question and let
mm,
the people say whatever they want to say. You know,
yeah,
even in fact, when I request them to ask to the people about something,
mm,
what I do is I try to learn them how to ask, you know,
yeah.
in order to obtain the information that people want to say and not the information.
Oh, yep. Oh, you paused a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You paused a little bit there, Maurizio, but you're back.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Let
Yeah,
me.
no, I love that. And it's interesting. It sort of mirrors a lot of the experience I've had with facilitation, where I talk about it's not my aha moment that I want people to have. It's their
Exactly.
aha moment.
Exactly.
And you talked about the star, who's the star, and there's this sort of flip that I think you get early in your career if you sort of understand facilitation. And it is about whose story is it? Like who is the star? Who is the hero of the story? And it's not us, it's not the facilitator, it's everyone else in the room. And I think what
Mhm.
that brings with it is, I think why people perhaps at the start of their career are not as comfortable with that, or maybe don't have that realization, is because when you go into a room, a lot of people want control. They want to feel safe. They want to feel, as a facilitator, they want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think when you sort of hand over that power and, the story is theirs, they're the hero, you sort of don't know where it's going to go. And I think for early career sort of facilitators, that can be a bit daunting. It's like, oh my God, I'm going in. I'm reflecting back to my experience going in. I don't know what's going to happen. Will I be able to guide it? And so I think it comes with experience, and it comes with observing like you did. Just it's almost like a Zen moment. You're just like, I don't need to be the hero or the star, or I don't need to have the content. I just need to have some questions. And I
Yeah.
love I love the way you describe that as the sort of invisible facilitator that probably takes the invisibility off occasionally to sort of help, guide and nudge, but then sort of goes back into the background. And there's so many metaphors we could talk about there. But yeah, I love that. Um, so tell me more about with Lego Serious Play. Like, what do you do with it? Maybe even the nuts and bolts of, the session lengths, the topics, even maybe some of the experiences you've had with Lego Serious Play, both good and bad.
Yeah. Well, as I told you, I used to work a lot with IT companies.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm very focused on agile.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of digital transformations for companies.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is trying to help them to get smoother transformations
Mm.
impacting people.
Yeah.
So what I do is try to understand what the people think about change,
Mm.
how the people feel when they are in a digital transformation. For example, right now we are working with a company here in Colombia. They are implementing these agile frameworks.
Mm.
They never used to use agile frameworks. So the expectations are very high. You know, the
Yeah.
people is scared because they say like, oh, my workload is going to be increased. Now I have a different way to do things. Am I going to be able to do it? If I can't do it, I'm going to be fired. You
Mm.
know. So what I try to do is to accompany the people in that process of transformation
Mm.
through some many workshops.
Yeah.
The last workshop that I do, the name is Discovering. And
Mm.
what I try to do is to discover that kind of feelings, the emotions the people is having, how they are handling the emotions, why they want what they want to do with those emotions, you know, and obtain insights from them in order to then, when I pass the report to the C levels,
Mm.
they take actions in order to improve those fears, in order to handle the difficult situations that the people is having right now. So
Yeah.
in this moment, I'm very specialized on that kind of workshops.
Mm.
But I do a lot of workshops. You know, I do workshops for um, how do you say this? Career development,
Oh, yeah.
for personal transformation.
Mm.
I also sometimes I use Lego Serious Play for coaching.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm a certified coach with Fred Kaufman of the Conscious Business Center coaching.
Yeah.
So I use Lego Serious Play for coaching. I use Lego Serious Play for with students in last high school years in
Yeah.
order to help them to find their potential. That's what I'm doing right now with Lego Serious Play, you know?
Cool. Yeah, cool. I love it. It's so, and just picking up on a few of those topics, like the idea of transformation and change. Like I always say that Lego Series Plays is like one of the perfect change tools because of exactly what you were saying. Like it allows people to express themselves, how they're feeling, where they're at now, their fears, their worries, their, visions of a future, but good or bad, and
Yeah,
then helps them to sort of move through that. And a lot of I would say a lot of life in general is just where are we now? Where do we want to get to? How we're going to get there? And the journey along the way. And it's interesting. It ties both with those other two things you're talking about. Sort of students in high school. They're going through that transformation, that change. Career. Do I study? Do I work? And even coaching. I mean, that's change just as one on one. So yeah, it's great to see that theme throughout all the stuff that you do. It's change, it's transformation, whether it's big organizations, teams, high school students, coaching. It's all that common theme, and I just think Lego Series Play is such a wonderful fit for that. So
of
how
course.
exciting to use it for that. And you can use Lego Series Play for lots of different things, but
Yeah,
I love particularly around change because that's what we're all in life for. It's to move from one spot to another. Now, I got you to do a second build,
yeah.
Mauricio, around something that your industry isn't talking enough about. So maybe I'll flick to you. You can tell us how you defined industry, and then yeah, dive into this thing that they're not talking enough about.
Well, it was a very interesting question because, in technology, there's a lot of things that came up when you think what they are not doing right now. And something that they don't talk too much in technology is cooperation,
Mm.
Uh, in this part of the model, all the technologies companies always are racing like a crazy race, you know. who's
Mm,
the best, who's the bigger, who launched the last device, who make more profit,
mm,
who is the biggest one. And I think they are all the time creating barriers. Uh, and what I'm trying to do is trying to open windows, like open doors
mm.
in order to become a wizard. Oh, the monkey just fell down. Like I'm trying to be that wizard
Mm,
that create an environment of cooperation, because this is for me cooperation in order to obtain results for us. Because I'm that kind of guy, Michael, that says that there is room for everyone in the industry. You
mm,
don't have to have the big portion of the cake if you can help others to have some portion of that cake.
mm,
So I think that the TI or the IT industries, they don't talk too much about cooperation, they talk
mm.
too much about competition. And I really want to be that agent of change in order to let them understand that if you help others, you obtain more for you.
Mm,
In order you give in that same portion you receive.
mm.
So I'm trying to teach that. I'm trying to be that agent of change in order to teach the companies that if they cooperate one with the other, we can have benefits for all. It's
Yes.
something that I just think quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting insight that there's that tension between competition and collaboration,
Yeah.
and um, you're right. It seems like you describing it, in that industry, they're all racing ahead. It's profit, it's pace, it's velocity, it's quickness, it's number one, it's all of that,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting insight to say, maybe it's a pendulum. It sort of swings a bit, and at the moment, it's swinging too far to sort of competition, and that has its advantages, but it also has its downside as well. Like there's duplication, there's sort of sort of destructive tendencies when you're just trying to beat the other person rather than it's almost like what are you building if you want to look at it as a Lego thing. Am I trying to destroy their thing or am I trying to build my thing up? And so no, it's a really interesting insight. I love the way your cogs worked and all went together. That was beautiful.
Even Michael, in our industry, in level series play facilitating, sometimes I have a lot of things to do, and I'm not that kind of person that think so I can do everything. I'm going to do all the workshops that the companies request.
Mm,
When I can't, the first thing that I think is who can do it, for me.
mm. Yeah,
There's a lot of facilitators here in Bogota, in Colombia, where I live, that I know they are so good, they are so professionals. So the first thing that I do is to call a partner, hey,
yeah,
I have a workshop, I can do it. Do you want to go? And I don't care. My name, your company, my company, I don't care.
yeah.
It's the idea is to help others, to cooperate with the people.
Yeah, it really is. I love that. It's a very much an abundance mindset of, you know, there's plenty of work, plenty of workshops, there's plenty of opportunity, and if it doesn't fit, it's similar with me where I just do Lego Serious Play where I don't use other tools. So if someone comes to me and doesn't quite fit with what Lego Serious Play can do, if it's not the tool that's going to achieve their objective, well then you find other people to help, and you find you pass it off, and it one thing I found over my life, Mauricio, is that giving, that abundance. I mean, it sounds sort of silly, like, oh, abundance, if you just give and you'll receive, like karma or something. But it does set up a psychological mindset in you and also in the people in your network, the people that know you. And it is a longer term approach. It's, a lot of people are, maybe short term, no, I need to do that work, I need that workshop, or if you're thinking about competition, we need to, win, gather resources, things like that. But I just find in the long term, if you find that balance where you can give a little and you can share and you can open that up, it just, the network effects, your own personal network and the network effects that you can get, that word of mouth experience, that reputation, that that authenticity of all of that, just it pays it back in so much more than than trying to sort of limit and hide and protect. And so yeah, I mean it's a hard lesson to learn because we're all told, or we're all sort of shaped to be that competitive short-term thinkers.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's nice to reflect on a career where you understand those the
yeah,
bigger picture and a different
that's
approach.
something I that's something I try to do always, to think on people, to be a good guy, to be a good friend, to be a good parent, to be a good
Mm,
brother, to be a
yeah,
good son, to be a good partner.
yeah,
And I always try to think on people.
yeah.
You don't know what the other person is going through, and if you can help in any moment, that's the best act that you can do.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. Um, Maybe I was reflecting back on some of your Lego Series play experiences. Are there any that stand out in terms of, you've obviously run many sessions and many workshops over the last years. Is there any that stick in your mind, both good or bad? Little moments, little stories, little experiences, little outcomes. Is there anything that springs to mind?
What do you mean? But some experience that I have living in, I didn't get the question very good.
Oh, sorry. I meant just with Lego Serious Play, with the workshops that you deliver. Is there anything that sort of you remember fondly, or is there one workshop or one story, or maybe it went the other way and you had not such a good session? Is there anything that really stands out?
Well, there isn't a specific moment,
Mm.
but I really love when the people, or not the love. I'm moved. My heart gets moved. When people cry, because I don't know why Lego Serious Play make people cry.
Yeah.
Every time they are telling personal stories, tears come out, and that's very deep moments,
Mm.
and I really enjoy, because in that moment I feel the methodology is going inside the people.
Yeah.
It's impacting their hearts. Uh, so many times I have that moment. It was a particular workshop like 2 years ago. We were talking about obtaining results,
Mm.
oriented results, and there was a lady, and she did a construction like something like this, like for example like this, or even better, this way, like this, and she started to explain about the tiger, and she said, "Okay, I am a tiger. I really enjoy, to I really enjoy setting high goals.
Mm.
I am a result-oriented person." She was talking all the time about the tiger.
Mm.
And when I asked, "Could you please tell us what do you have above?" And
Mm.
she said, "It's an elephant." And I say, "Okay, and how are elephants?" And she said, "Heavy." And I asked, "Okay, so what are you loading? What is in your head? What are you loading a lot of weight?"
Yeah.
And she just started to cry.
Yeah. Wow.
She just breaking in tears, and she cried like 5 minutes.
Wow.
I have to calm her,
Mm.
and I asked what happened, and she said, this career for obtain results, for being the best, for delivery results for the company, it's like if I have a building in my head, in my back, and I
Mm.
can't resist anymore that head, that weight.
Yeah.
And I just say, "Okay, what you are going to do?
Mm.
It is in your hands.
Yeah.
You have the control on that. What are you going to do with that elephant? You know, you can just drop the elephant. What are you going to do?"
Yeah.
And that's a very hard moment, because I haven't expected that she was to have that reaction.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I
Well,
love.
not that funny as you expect, but it
Yeah.
was very shocking.
It's powerful, and it's interesting. I mean, I've had a few people cry in my workshops as well, but the way you describe that, like, it's interesting because often people build, and then there's some part of it that some part of it they talk about a lot, and then there's often parts that they don't talk about as much, but they've still put it in there. Like their hands have done that thinking, as you know, and they've included in the model. And I guess that's one of the arts with Lego Serious Play. It's to draw attention to things in the model that perhaps they're not talking as much about, but that they built. Like it's obviously important, and that was the unlock for this particular person. And
Yeah.
I often say as well that it's, we've got words, we hear, we can write down sort of language and, have it up, a post-it notes, a whiteboard, but it's a very comfortable way to express ourselves, but it's a very limited way. And so, to talk about that metaphor of an elephant, heavy, there's a lot going on. It just gives people that extra dimension. And whether it's color or whether it's metaphor or, whatever it is, it's it just taps into or allows people to express a more fuller range of emotions and, obviously be more themselves. Like I always say, it's about seeing the authentic human, the real person. Let's drop all the masks and bring out the real person. And nothing ever bad comes from that. It's always a way to move forward. So
Yeah.
what a great story. I love hearing that. Yeah, it's super powerful. And it's interesting because when that first happened, I was like, whoa, like in my workshop, I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And you've as a young facilitator, you've got to be prepared for what this method can bring up. Now, not everyone starts bursting into tears, as you know. It's a rare moment, but it's a powerful moment. And one of the things I say is that with Lego Serious Play, people choose their level of involvement. So some people are, they stay it's almost like that iceberg. Some people stay that surface level, and that's fine, and they get something out of it. And some people sort of float down, and some people go really deep and express a lot. And I think that's one
Yeah.
of the advantages of the method is that it allows you to choose that depth. And some people go deep, and as facilitator, you've got to be prepared for that, and how to comfort people. Most of the people in the room help as well, like to help people move through it. And but yeah, what a great story. I love hearing those that experience is sort of universal. How deep the method can
Yeah,
go.
yeah, you just mentioned it. You have to be prepared for that because, for example, in that specific moment, if I just uh, freeze
Mm,
and if I don't react in a proper way, I can cause a damage in that people, and
yeah.
that person. So you have to be prepared in order to manage also difficult situations,
Mm,
how to help that person to go through that emotion, and that's why I think legacy display is very powerful, but you have to be prepared. You
yeah.
cannot just deliver workshops just I don't know, like something without importance. You have to be prepared. You have to um, you go very deep on the methodology and know about how to treat people because, as I say, you can make a damage on someone
Yeah.
if you don't know how to handle that situation.
Yeah. And if I think about for me, like it's probably the mindset that I go into those. It's not just those moments, it's all moments with Lego Series Play. You just go in with an openness, an empathy, a curiosity. It's
Mhm.
it's almost like just be a human yourself. Like as in, connect with if someone's telling this story and it's powerful and someone cries or someone, it unlocks something for them or it doesn't. Like it's just I think the way I approach it is just going with empathy, like go in as a human being. And I mean that's why I keep coming back because it's the stories and the insights into people's lives that they share, whether it's work lives or home lives and things like that. I mean that's what keeps me coming back. And I think if you go into it with the right attitude as a facilitator, and yeah, there's the method and you've got to know what you're doing and the steps and all of that stuff. But I feel like that's not mechanical or process, but it works. It's a really good method, but I think that's the key is the mindset and the way that you present yourself as a facilitator, that empathy, that just being a human and seeing other humans and what they bring out. Yeah.
Of course,
Cool.
of course.
I've got you to do a third model, which was an open one, which is, I'm interested, build whatever you want, talk about whatever you want. So, Mauricio,
Okay.
tell us about your third model.
Now that well, we are talking about facilitating and that process, this is like my representation of my moment as a facilitator in the methodology. Um, I got certified 6 years ago.
Mm.
And at that moment, I was very scared, you know. I was very nervous about how's going to be my first workshop. Am I going to do okay? Am I going to be at the level
Mm.
that not just me, but also the company or the public is expecting. So at that moment, I feel like a turtle, you know, going slow, trying to be winsome, trying um, to be smart, but very careful. Then I just moved to baby steps. So I did my first workshops, and then I start to go deep on the methodology, to see how others people do. That's why I start to following a lot of people like you, like experts like you in social network, in LinkedIn, and I start to learn. I start to see how the people do, what the people is bringing to the workshop. So I start to give my baby steps, and I think that right now I'm in this moment. I'm having some more experience with every workshop I do. I obtain experience, um, and my goal is to be like this elephant, to be um, that the elephants have a special characteristic that they guide the rest of the elephants. The oldest elephant in the I don't know how to say the group of elephants. They guide the other ones.
Yeah.
So I just want to be that guide for the next generations of facilitators. I just want to be that person, in that case, that elephant, that can share the experience, can share knowledge, can
Mm.
share with the rest of the facilitators that are starting in the Lego Serious Play world. So that's my goal, to be like this elephant.
Oh, I love it. Fantastic. I love that journey. Like I love that's one of the things about Lego Serious Play is it's like there's the time element. You can show that physically, you can show that spatially, and the evolution and I often think with Lego Serious Play, it's like how would you represent that in a non-Lego way? Like, if we're just talking, you could say that, but to see all those stages like all at once, yeah, you could do post-it
Yeah.
notes, but it's so rich, the metaphors and the whole timeline sort of mapped out there. Um, I love it. And I'm always a huge fan of the Duplo animals. They are so rich in metaphor. I really encourage people to always get lots of Duplo animals because they're, animals and just you just grab them and like that one you said before about the lady and the tiger and and then the elephant and for you as well. Oh, it's just it's so good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That I guess is a bit about your journey and a bit about where you're at and as you sort of move into that maybe not last part of the career, but that sort of culmination of the career.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, as we start moving towards the end, I'd love your thoughts on say Lego Series Play itself as a method, where the future of it. You mentioned there were quite a few facilitators where you are in Colombia. What's your thoughts on where Lego Series Play is going? It's been around what 20-25 years now. Any thoughts on the future of Lego Series Play over the next 10 years and where you see it going?
Well, one thing that I've been thinking is, the pandemic brings us a lot of things, and
Mm,
one of those is virtuality. Mostly of the Lego Serious Play workshops needs to be in a physical place with the
mm,
people present.
mm,
But I always think on the future how we are going to create like that metaverse, the metaverse,
yeah.
to have workshops with people all around the world. if
Mm,
if 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 companies right now are creating virtual spaces to work like we are talking right now,
mm.
uh, one in front of the other one, and with those 3D glasses,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can you can just turn and talk to your partner, and your partner is 100 kilometers away, but
Yeah,
you are watching your partner right in the seat just next to you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I really want to see that time where we can facilitate or run workshops virtually, like but not just virtually like we are right now, but virtually with
Yeah.
selecting pieces and ensembling pieces. I really love to see that. I think that could open a lot of opportunities for us because you
Yeah.
can now run workshops all around the world without to travel or without to be physically in that place. Is the way like I see one part of the future of Lego Serious Play. I really love to see that.
Yeah. I think that opening up, obviously the world is opening up with internet and, things like virtual reality and, the speed of the internet and our connection and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think that'll be a really interesting insight into, I always think that the analog nature of Lego Serious Play will become more and more important, but I also do see it in that digital realm. It's almost like Lego Serious Play. It's kind of split, but it's like it'll have two very separate dimensions to it, where it's that analog, physical, we're all in the same room. But then as we get more and more digital in our work lives and home lives, I can see us doing more and more of this style of workshop meeting, classroom communication. Um, in the future. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see. I've been doing some explorations with it, but the tech is slowly increasing, like in terms of virtual reality and in terms of, things like that. But yeah, that's
This
a fascinating insight.
that is one of the visions that I have, and the other one is I really want to be alive when every single company in the world have a new position that it's
Yeah.
a serious play indoor facilitator, you know?
Yeah. I love
Uh,
that.
like a Lego Serious Play CEO, I don't know how to call it.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single company
Chief.
in the world have a person specialized in Lego Serious Play in order to, use this methodology to help people
Yeah. Love
outside the
it.
company. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Mauricio. Is there any place you want to direct people to where they can find you and your work, like you on LinkedIn or website or email? Is there any place you want to direct people to be able to contact you?
Yes, of course, Michael. Yes, my LinkedIn page.
Yep.
You can find me as my name in the screen,
Yep.
Mauricio Gomez Orlando, my both last names,
Yep.
and also the name of my company, Seriamente, like seriously.
Yeah. I like
You
that.
can find me like Seriamente. We are located in Bogota, Colombia,
Yeah.
and you can find me anytime you want. There is a WhatsApp button in my webpage, so
Nice.
I
Nice.
will be happy to receive any message and help anyone I can do. I can help.
Awesome. And I'm going to follow along more closely as well. I've obviously connected up on LinkedIn with you, but get those notifications on and start to sort of, really watch what you're doing. And yeah, looking forward to seeing where, what you do in this last part of your career as I get into my last part of my career as well in the last sort of 10, 20 years. Although I think I'm going to be doing Lego Serious Play for quite some time, and I feel like you are too. It's sort of an addicting thing that it's almost it's not work. It's just pure enjoyment, and so I don't think we'll probably ever stop doing it. But thank you again for all these insights, and yeah, looking forward to
Michael,
seeing the
how
the
long
rest
you
of what you
have
do.
how long you have doing Lego Serious Play?
Me, so I started in 2012, so I
Okay.
got certified here in Australia, and then probably within the first year, I end up just doing full-time Lego Serious Play for clients and then, obviously training people and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I guess I'm up to 12 years now doing it. And I still get excited by, workshops coming up for clients and obviously training people in the method. But um, I think I think why Lego Serious Play has longevity rather than just a flash in the pan method that, they come and go. It's it's a very robust method. It's got a lot of science that underpins it. But I think it's hard. It's a better way for us to be able to tell stories. And that's why it never gets old because we always have stories. There's always, what's important to me, what's important to our team and our group, what's important to our company, what's important to our industry, our country. Everything is a story. And I guess I just find humans just infinitely fascinating in their stories. And so I sort of just peek in, when you've got a big group and you're facilitating, you can't be everywhere, but I love just hearing that little snippet of a story. And one over there, one over there. And that's why I keep going back. So yeah, I'm what, 46, almost 47, but I can easily see myself just doing this till I'm older and grayer. Much older and much grayer because of the stories. Yeah.
Okay, Michael, one last question. I know we are running out of time, but
No,
if
no,
you
it's
can give
good.
an advice to us, to less expert facilitators like me
Yeah.
and new people that is getting certified, what could be that advice?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like, I think the position I'm in, like, as a facilitator, I think I'm okay. Like, I know Lego series play well. I've sort of niched down and I really dived into it. But honestly, it's just because I've been doing it a lot. Like, the reason why I know it so well is because I've just done so many so many sessions, and just like you sort of learn from it. Like, you go in, you do it, you sort of you mentioned about the invisible facilitator, and the way you learned that was you saw other facilitators and what they did, and it didn't quite work. And it's the same with me with Lego Series Plays. I just went out and did it, and I did lots and lots of sessions, and some of them were free, some of them were paid, but I just got in and experienced it. And so that's the first part I'd recommend to everyone is whether you're, just even if not certified, even if you're just, wondering about the method, you've heard of it, like experience it. Once you've been trained or maybe read some books or giving it a shot, just do lots of it. Don't be afraid. Like one of the other podcasts, they mentioned about you want to look back and you want to be embarrassed by what you did earlier, as in like, you know, you want to just do it. You want to do it to the best of your ability, but know that the next time and the next time you're going to be better and you're going to be better. And so I would just say the new person, the, newly certified person, the person where you're at 5, 6 years experience, or me where it's 12 years experience, just do it, like constantly do it. And like any skill, you'll get better at it. You'll understand the process bits better, but you'll just enjoy it more and more and more. So yeah, that's probably my big thing is just do
Okay,
it. And
let's do
I
it.
think I think you've got the support of the method, and there's communities and groups and lots of people that are willing to share their experiences and their knowledge. So you have to have that learning mindset of, you know, I need to do it. I need to do lots of it, and I need to learn stuff from it to get better. But you have a method that is really well developed. It works so well that you just go in confident of what's going to be produced. And after that, it's just time. It's getting people to say yes. It's getting people in the room. It's just running it and running it and running it. And it actually goes back, Maurizio, to perhaps I think one of your earlier models where you talked about those companies, and they always were trying to be first and biggest, and I just think time. I just think just being in business, just doing the method, it's just time and experience that is the key. And if you've got half a brain, you'll improve and you'll do well at it. And everyone I've seen does. So good question. Thank you. I feel like I should get into
Oh,
I
thank
should get you
you.
to ask me questions. I love it.
No,
I
no,
do
no.
I do
Thank
talk
you.
too much. This is why I do podcasts, because I want to hear from other people. I'm sick of hearing my voice and all the stuff I say, but I love hearing your voice and your insights, and that really helps me and the listeners to learn as well. So thank you,
Well,
Maurizio.
thank you.
And
I just hope my English was at the level and
yeah, it was
everyone can
awesome,
understand.
awesome, and
That's
the common language of Lego Series Play as well. Bringing those out in those three models. So thank you for being brave and coming on in terms of building models and sharing your story and your journey. And I look forward to the next steps and seeing where it goes.
okay, Michael. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Maurizio.
Okay. Bye, Michael.